I'm Jamie,
I'm Kenzie.
and we are
The
the
nervous.
Nervous Truth Network. Have you ever noticed that your body reacts before your mind catches up?
Have you ever wondered why calm feels uncomfortable?
Yep. Why do people say just move on when your brain and your body are clearly still carrying something?
We started asking those questions because we were living them. We started realizing that maybe these questions aren't what's wrong with me.
Maybe the better thing instead of like, what's wrong with me, it's looking at what happened to me. How did my brain learn this?
I've learned how to heal my chronic pain. I had back pain for over 10 years. I had tingling feet. I had a tingling face. At one point, I thought I had MS. I had
Hmm.
all sorts of issues. And I have now learned how to rewire my brain. I realized that my pain was caused by an overwhelmed nervous system.
I'm also a pain survivor. I'm in a recovery, my own form of recovery. I've had back surgery. I've had chronic back issues. I have fibromyalgia. I have a lot of pain in general. A lot of that has gone into the work I do. I get the opportunity to not only continue to change my brain, learn about my pain, but I get the pleasure and the privilege of working with other people's pain, not just physical pain, but it's emotional and mental pain. It's this load that they're carrying. I think that this is become so important to me because even as a therapist, pain in general was not something that I was trained in. The reality is everything that we feel and do and think and become, that's the source. The source is the brain. So this became so important to me to be able to teach people because I found so many people, their story, how they were molded, how they got here. And so many of them, that's why they come to therapy because they don't know how to change. They don't know why they are the way that they are. They've come in feeling broken, and that's broken in lots of ways. And so part of my job is to be able to help them to progress and evolve past this state of hopelessness. That's why we're all here, is that we're supposed to progress. And part of that is realizing that our brains can progress.
Very much so. We're not here because we've figured life out. We're here because we're both trying to understand ourselves. We're both consistently learning about ourselves, consistently learning our habits, forming new habits, and trying to better ourselves.
Mm.
And I think that's why you and I have connected so well because I saw you on that journey and I'm like, let me hop on. It got me excited because there's hope in life. And I think we all lose that at times, especially when we're going through hard times. We all lose our hope, but it can always come back.
I think part of what connected us is that we realized that these patterns were not random. It's this amazing web system. And I think that we found that out. We learned, we were studying a lot of the same things. We were excited about the same things. And we realized that our fear was doing a lot of the driving. Our patterns were outdated. It's like old, outdated computer software that we're still like, it's an 80s computer and it's 2026 and we expect it to work. You know, we all expect it to still be able to do what it needs to do. And we've realized that we have not updated the software. Those old patterns are that old software. And part of it keeps us in is the fear of change, the unknowns. That's what brought us together, is that we wanted to help people pass their habits and pass their fears into a way of living that has joy, peace, comfort, stability. And a lot of people don't know that experience or feeling. The reason that we're having this dialogue is because we want people to have that.
I think people need to understand that the situations they're in and the way that they're thinking about things, it's their brain protecting them. I was very hyper vigilant. My brain was sending a signal that something was wrong and I was ignoring it, but I was festering on it at the same time. So it just kept ramping up until I was like, okay, I'm going to deal with you. Getting into this work, I didn't realize what it was going to do for me. I didn't know it
Mhm.
was going to completely heal my pain. I still have flares, but I can
Manage them.
because I
Yeah.
put those tools in my tool belt.
Well, our bodies are talking to us all the time. We like to kind of ignore them. And what it becomes is like, if you're a parent, you'll understand this. Our bodies become like that little kid in the grocery store aisle who wants that lollipop and is like, I'm going to freak out and scream until I get the lollipop. Our bodies are screaming out. And the only way it knows how to do is it becomes that hypervigilance. It becomes expecting bad things. It's that feeling of unsafe. It creates behaviors and experiences and signals that we as humans are really good at ignoring. But our bodies remember and they're trying to communicate with us.
They do. They remember our pain, they remember our stress, our fatigue, our symptoms, our tension. Your body remembers everything you
Yeah,
do.
it retains it.
Mhm.
And because it doesn't have a voice, it has other ways of communicating. Why do you think we cry? Those are all signals. Those are all messages that we need to begin to learn how to respond to because we need new patterns because we have old bad patterns.
Well, whatever pattern you have, it's going to keep repeating. Whether that's bad relationships, toxicity in your life, the
Hmm.
people you allow around you,
Self-sabotage, negative thinking,
like
doom scrolling.
even avoiding opportunities and things that emotionally trigger you. If you succumb to them, that's what will happen because your nervous system is going to adapt.
Well, yeah, because it has to find a way to survive. So it kind of assesses the situation and predicts these situations and then makes judgment calls on, okay, well, they're doing XYZ. Okay, what do I do to protect them? Adaption can be a really powerful positive tool, but our bodies don't always do that. It does these really unsafe maladaptive versions to be able to just get us through. Sometimes that can even be something like avoidance.
But I was addicted to the chaos and I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know what peace was until I started on this journey. I thought peace was going to get my nails done, going for a walk by myself.
Break from your kids, like where you're peeing in the bathroom, taking a bath.
That's not actual peace. And I don't think this is something that we're told. I think that we are not taught about our brain. Doctors are still learning what our brain can do.
Oh, we haven't even gotten there yet.
You repeating these patterns isn't a sign that you're broken. It's signs that your brain has learned something and
Hmm.
it's repeating it because that's what your brain learned.
Hmm.
Because your brain can consistently learn.
It's how we do anything. We're constantly learning. You go to a new job and you're learning new skills. You've never worked on that computer system, you have to learn that computer system. Or you speak a foreign language or a musical instrument. Our brains, you can see it all the time that they're learning and applying, and that becomes that really strong system. This is about this process of saying these are learned behaviors. This is not about like blaming yourself. It's not everything's trauma. It's not saying that your symptoms aren't real. This isn't anti-doctor. Isn't just, oh, think positive and then everything will be fine. Your brain is powerful, but powerful doesn't mean imaginary.
These symptoms aren't made up. Your pain isn't made up. Your anxiety isn't made up. Your depression, your fatigue, whatever it is, none of it's made up. It is real, regardless of who's telling you it's not real. It is real, but it is your brain protecting you. And
Hmm.
you need to find the source so that your brain doesn't have to protect you as much.
Yeah, because it's like that guard at the castle gates. It's ready for an attack all the time. We have our own castle guards. They're those things that we repeat over and over again. And the more that we repeat, the more they become those statues. They become protective. They avoid and escape and deny and get defensive because, again, they've just learned that's the way to find success and all your dreams come true.
No, because you're constantly running. There is no peace in that. You're just consistently running and you're a hamster in a wheel that's never
Hmm.
going to get off until you choose to practice new patterns, practice a new habit. One thing.
Because we're trying to move from just pure survival to understanding. Because I find that when we get into almost like scientist mindset, like in a lab, they're like curious, like, why does this happen? Why does this happen? If we started to relearn how to be curious over critical, curiosity diffuses so many things.
Yeah, that's why kids are always so happy.
They're like, why does that work? Why is the sky blue? Because they're so curious, because they want to know more. They want to learn.
But I feel like over time my curiosity got killed. I didn't allow it to be killed. Society in general kills curiosity. School kills curiosity. You just have to know what's going to be on the test. You don't ask all these questions that are outside of that because it's not useful.
But now as adults, we get the opportunity to push back into that mode, to be able to start asking the questions.
Your brain is constantly learning. It learns from what you focus on. It learns from what you experience. And if you can learn patterns that hurt you, then you can learn new
Learn.
ones.
Yeah, you can learn the ones that serve you
And you can unlearn ones.
over and over and over again. And this process is about real life. In our conversations here, as we're looking at neuroplasticity and we're looking at these pathways, we want this to be real life with pain, trauma, relationships, chronic illness, chronic pain, family systems, faith, everything, because it's all applicable.
Everything,
And
every aspect of life is applicable to neuroplasticity. Nobody teaches you this. We learn math, we learn history, we learn science, but we don't learn how our brains work. And most of us are just trying to survive using a brain that we were never taught how to understand.
they showed you the parts of the brain and what the brain did, but then that's like where it stopped. It wasn't like, well, now let's move it into applicable connections to life and everyday living. They didn't do that. It stopped as this is what your brain does in the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex. They gave us the science function, but not life function.
Yeah. How to actually apply it into your life and how to change what you're doing.
Yeah, because if we can understand why we became who we've become, that's our baseline, that's our foundation.
Maybe we can become something new.
New version, an improved version, a happier version. There's more.
There's always going to be more. And
that's just hope.
Correct. But if you live in the past, you will stay in the past. If you continue to bring it up, it will continue to repeat.
Because all we're doing is recycling the past, how we are with our bodies and how we think and our emotions and our traumas and our experiences and all those things. They can't be recycled over and over again. That's when it becomes
stuck.
That habit, that lit up, reinforced pathway.
Neural pathway. One stumble
isn't stuck. It's a signal.
Not the end.
Right?
Peace out, Girl Scout.
See you in the next episode.